I want to talk about games that I played in the past, and I want to rank them in a tier list. How about that? Starting with Need for Speed. I'm not sure how many games I will remember playing, but that's the whole point. If I don't remember them, they're probably not significant enough as a memory. It's just very nice to be nostalgic and revisit old things. I actually done something similar. Nostalgia is bullshit. Oh, that was the idea. Going back to the past to just call it out as bullshit. Pretty sad. This, my friends, is Need for Speed Carbon. Back in the day, Need for Speed was all about day or night. The most recent Need for Speed I played was day and night, switching sides and giving a slightly different gameplay, where at night you're running out from police. I already forgot the name, by the way. Heat. Need for Speed Heat. That's the one I played, and it kind of sucked. Like, the core element sucked really badly. My newest Need for Speed experience was ruined by the fact that you pick up a car that's not like the others, that has better stats, and otherwise you lose. You just lose without the best car in the game that you can find, and it's not always obvious, like, what is the best stats. There's a lot of upgrading, there's a lot of, like, just tiny bits that you have to take care of. And it's not satisfying to run from police, because police is not made out of plastic or cardboard where you just smash into them. They're just straight up metal Iron Man pulling you down real fast if you try to fucking play with them. Anyways, not good memories, guys. But if we go back to the past even more, we get games like Carbon. Now, I want to list a few more games just so you can get an idea of what I was playing as a child or teenager. Long time ago, right? With friends even. I even had that mystical creature. Oblivion. I bunch Need for Speed all in one category. It's a franchise about cars. It's too specific to be split into different things. But Oblivion and Skyrim are different things. Alright, Oblivion probably goes to C. It's just like, right now I realize how shitty Oblivion actually is, and how good Skyrim is. Because I played on a bonus meme, Skyrim plus Enderal. You cannot play Skyrim without it. You have to experience Enderal as well, because Skyrim desperately needs balance. Without balance, every game breaks. You can see Need for Speed is just like, it's all about balance. Even if the game just ends after 4 hours. This is the amount of gameplay you get from Need for Speed Carbon. Even if it ends in 4 hours, as long as the game is fairly balanced and it's not too stupid, it's great. Obviously, if it's 4 hours gameplay, it's not balanced. It's too easy. It would be the biggest complaint. You just breeze through it. I don't remember the details exactly, but I actually played it quite recently. Just for that nostalgic trip. Yes, there are companions. Companions help you. That's a very fun mechanic. There's the draft companion. There's a companion that shows you all the shortcuts, which once you learn the shortcuts, or you just would want to find them yourself anyways, like, that guy is pretty useless. The draft is, I think, is the most useful. Maybe there's the one that, like, chases down your enemies or something, chases down something in second place and knocks them out of the race. I don't remember what the third type of friend you can have, but there is that. You drive with a companion, which is just adds more flavor. Like, the flavor of Need for Speed Carbon is maxed out. You also have drifting events, right? Drifting is just the most iconic thing you can do. I really want to just kind of skip to that part. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, give me that. That is it. That's the also a pinnacle. Just like controlling it's just made out of the best flavor of all time that Need for Speed ever had. The most memorable things that when you're building a racing game of your own, and just this is your canvas. This is what you want to look up to. It's just so beautiful. And when I handle drifting, I just truly appreciated that thing. Some like, you know, I played a game called Dirt 3, I think, and it's nothing. In my memory now, it's just nothing. It have not left me any impressions. It's just a simple game. There's Colin McRae Rally something, right? Let me see. Shit, I know exactly the full name, bro. This is nasty. This is what I started with. This is a funny experience, bro. Because back in the day, this was a nightmare game, bro. The scariest game of all time. I'm not sure which version. I hope it's Rally. Just some newer version that looks pretty decent. But it is still polygon-based. Very old game. But that's what we're talking about. Retro, bro. Definitely not this. Maybe there's even a newer version released? Yeah. No? 2022, bro? Maybe 2017 I played. But anyways, I played something like in between. Very old. Like 2005. This thumbnail right there, bro. That's the iconic shit. So it was a very scary, it's a very tight race against time. There's no actual opponents. You can make a ghost of yourself to race against that, which is always satisfying. But overall, it's a very tight race. It's very difficult to score points. The moment you crash at all, and it's very easy to do. But what gave this game charm, and I can't actually demonstrate it, it's so realistic. It felt so realistic. It felt like every single thing matters. Everything you can crash into. Everything is an obstacle. And I just love the vibes, you know? And the vibe of just coming back to the game and mastering to the point where I'm actually making progress. As a child, I was doomed to fail this game. As an adult, I was able to actually pick it up and complete half of it, I guess. It's a very long game as well. It just throws you into tracks, but everything is just has this simple, realistic flavor that's just like, wow, that's it. Just the fence just gives me like, oh wow, there's a fence built. Just feels so realistic somehow. At least back in it, nothing changes. It's retro, boys. So when it comes to the Colin McRae rally, let's put it at C. I mean, it's not a tremendous experience, but it's definitely nostalgic. And one of the greatest competitors to Need for Speed is, there's one more. Flat Out 2, very recent game that I played. Just crashing into shit around you. And it was very satisfying. At some point it becomes just kind of repetitive. Now, I still don't know what screenshots I'm supposed to look at. I think I played third. I think third one is the vibe here. Fourth one? I think there's fourth one. That one. You know what? There's also... Yeah. There's also special events where you're just like smashing into other cars, and that just kind of bumps the score as well. I think it's just gonna be tied at B category. Even though I can't talk about Flat Out too much, there's not much to say. but I'm definitely gonna rank it high just because it's a newer release. I want to give you guys the scoopy gameplay. Fucking crazy shit. Now that's not exactly gameplay, isn't it?
After that, I wouldn't have reset myself if I did. Oh my god! Right now, okay, great.
Yeah, there's the slowness of the game where you're just getting beaten up as well, but having a health bar, I think it's a pretty interesting touch. I just want collision cores. It's a lot of weird shit. I just want the actual tournament, bro. There's a lot of or two. I'm not sure how many game modes there are, but there's that.
And it does?
Yeah, I think there's superpowers as well, where you shoot things down.
I'm gonna crash while I'm not even fucking kind of fuck myself.
They literally showed in the trailer the exciting parts of just smashing an arena. And if I don't find it, it's really sad. Or maybe a review is what I need to watch.
Colorful and busy stunt arena.
There's a stunt arena? I didn't even know about this.
It's definitely the stunt arena.
I don't know any about this.
Sticks in things like capture the flag.
What do you mean capture the flag?
They can mount falls
Here it is.
deathmatch and destruction.
Yeah, deathmatch, boys.
Definitely prefer previous.
No, I definitely liked it. I don't care what the reviewer says. I definitely liked it. And it's a tough one. You can always become a target that someone smashes into, bro.
Previous flat-out custodian bugbears authentic and more tactical.
And you gotta be careful not to slow down and all that shit. Pick up all these like easy targets. It's a lot of strategy. This is the stuff that gives flavor to the game. Anyways, that makes it unusual car game. It's a goddamn B. No doubt about it. Well, Need for Speed, just because it's generic and you never know what you're getting when you play Need for Speed releases. Also B. Just because there's a lot of them. And it's the easiest one to go to and remember. I believe that's all the racing games that I have played that stand out. So there's Dirt 3. Not very exciting, actually. Even though it looked very good. There's Need for Speed Shift. Both parts I've played. A little bit too restrictive vibes of just like, it feels like the car barely fits in the track itself. So you slowly make your way through. So Need for Speed Shift. There are some open areas. This is the vibe though. You're kind of trying to go like really high speeds, but the track is like super small. And there's other cars, let's not forget that part. There's something cool about Shift that I already forgot. Especially the second version. I played it way more. Maybe there's some kind of like experience system that I liked. I think the downfall of most of the racing games is just they stick to the formula of just giving you racing. And no excitement in that. It's just most of the time you're just like doing the same thing though. There's one more. Oh yes, there's one more. For this one I actually have to read every single one because I keep forgetting the name. We're definitely not going to talk about any apps. And again, I know that there's Need for Speed app, but oh, Trackmania though. Fuck yeah, dude. For a child, yeah, very good experience. But right now, you kind of have to pay for it. I think it's a subscription now service, and it's just like the dumbest thing. But Trackmania overall, like, spent so many hours just figuring things out and building a bunch of nonsense that it just deserves B just for the investment costs, I think. Just because you can spend so much time, right? I'll go through the entire list now. No escape. It's a very specific name that I can never remember. Euro Truck Simulator. Let's not talk about that. The Hard Truck 2 was a really popular thing where I lived. And trying to complete this game, like, it felt like a really cool map, very realistic, voiced by, like, people from my country, just, like, it's all deep vibes, like, dealing with friends, completing the same thing, recruiting, being, like, a certain phase in the game where you recruit others to earn profits, but mostly, like, discovering certain locations. It's a very ominous experience. So I will actually put Hard Truck in there. Hard Truck 2. I'll give it a D. It's just not something I would go back to, but it's just such a deep experience. Maybe it's C. It takes genuine time and patience to get through the game, and just like such an unusual thing to play with trucks and just race with trucks. That's the normal way of just doing a truck game, so it's the best one that I've played, even though it's a very old one too. There are like these mountain ranges that you go through. Very claustrophobic, by the way, because you can't just like run around mountains. You have to deal with police, obviously, and other weird things. I think there's mafia in the game. Like, there's so many cool things in the game that just it deserves a pretty high spot for being cool. Cool game that I played in a very long past. Like, it's one of those games that I probably didn't even have a computer, and I saw other people play it, something like that. Yeah, this is a moment where it's so important to appreciate games because so much time has been invested just getting that experience that I don't know how it pays off, to be honest. Yeah, you can zoom into the map. Every area feels different. The most isolated area, it just feels scary to me. Like, there's this area. Greystone. It's like a very, very special place that turns into like a desert mountain place. You actually get a range to roam around. There's a hidden place. A tunnel system. There's some police, I imagine. Is this not police? I think at some point you are allowed to have a car. There's like a fun little rewards for all the hard work. You can own a car instead of a truck. But holy shit, this slams real hard. This is the best one, I think. It has a great durability. It looks fucking insane, huh? You got that one and you're happy. Yeah, there's not enough pictures of the Greystone area.
Corners.
Yeah, the night time, bro. This is it, man.
And
the gameplay is it.
So,
here we go.
South. Depot is the best.
This is so cool. Such cool vibes here.
Okay, I'm getting close to the water. I can see. I need to be very gentle with myself. Okay.
This is not even a Greystone. Like, it's so deep into the desert area. It's crazy. It just felt such a groundbreaking experience of just like, there's no road. You left in a wasteland, like things got leveled up a little bit all of a sudden.
Okay.
And this is a long-ass road. Like, I wouldn't pick up too many cargoes to that place. Like, what the hell?
It's very slow.
There's a whole fucking iceberg mountain that you can see. Holy
Okay,
crap, I love this.
basically, if you have options.
There's a miniature... Bro, Eiffel Tower. Wow, they have so many... No, it's more like satellite, right?
And I don't know, they have cooldown or did it.
There's a fucking balloon. Air balloon.
So, yeah, nice.
The most isolated place, and it's so funny to look at it, bro. What was he delivering,
We
bro?
have the
You came first? It doesn't say what it is.
nice.
Cotton fabric, 27,000. Is that a lot, bro?
Let's do this. I am second place.
Look, he has 86,000. This is like one of the biggest things you can do. Like, he has some expensive shit. A truck that's worth 140k. He barely gets 27k from this. Damn, bro, this is something. And you actually lose value anytime you damage your shipment. I don't know. I don't know how they call it yet. He says cargo, so... Alright, so that's that. I'm still searching for that. Never touched Forza. Is that the one? Something unlimited. Fucking calling it King of the Road. Like, they made such a beautiful game back in 2002. Like, that was fucking groundbreaking. Everyone played it, bro, for a reason. While we're at it, there's one more. Robot Wars. I had such a good time with this game. This seems like an updated version of some kind. Or modded.
Oh.
It looks crap looking back. It just looks horrible. And very low quality in actuality. Like, this could have been done so much better.
Stay. And there's RefBot helping you.
It's also online viable.
The fact that robots disappear.
The fact that it even exists is pretty nice. But because it didn't have like a solid gameplay, we might have to actually put it at the D. It's a very nice game. If it was any better, it would actually be a lot better than other games. As a concept, it was just like super satisfying. It's a level of Trackmania concept. Building your own robot and plowing through a bunch of enemies. Absolutely, I sunk my teeth into it. But I don't think I got much enjoyment out of it. I think it was just like a broken mess. Or not interesting enough. The weapons are not interesting enough. You just kind of crash into another robot, smash with a hammer, drill into it, and the game's over pretty much. The only thing that makes the game more difficult is that there are other robots around you. You know, you're constantly defending and attacking a bunch and trying to stay out of the way, obviously. Because, like, why the fuck not? This is more of the arena version that I've not played. But Robot Wars happen to have these, like, areas where you're not supposed to go. Like the Spit of Doom, I guess. Buttons you can press. It's a very television arena, but I didn't play that. This feels like a different you can see how glitchy everything is.
They're grippers.
Feels lame.
Grippers allowed as well.
I do not recognize, which is very interesting. I played a very simplified version then.
A lot of damage caused. 101. I've been taken out by the RefBot.
I need to play this, bro. Shit. Because this don't look familiar at all. Like, the arenas I played were, like, super small. And it might actually have more... If this, like, a successor game... Fuck yeah, count me in, bro. I've never seen any of this. Robots seem to have familiar builds, right? And even that is questionable. Alright, that's cool. I want to see what's up. Isn't there, like, damage calculation shown? Or you just visibly see? Because, like, you should have, like, health and stuff. I guess they just went for it. They're just gonna show you the damage. I don't know. How does the game end, then? How does the battle end? Fucking tiny robot versus giants of some kind.
Riftbox victory for us, yeah.
My version had the needs for you to repair your robot and everything, but those features were not that impressive and sometimes get in the way of you having a broken robot to work with the next rounds. You can run out of batteries, energy, right? This doesn't seem to have health bars at all. So because of all this confusion, I just can't pull it up. I don't even know what version I was playing.
Fish bash.
There's supposed to be different game modes. Hopefully. Because again, the version I played was different. It was King of the Hill version. But not seeing any score or health bars, very bizarre. Alright. It's kind of cool. What the fuck is this? I don't get it, bro. What the fuck is this? This is so interesting. Because Robot War is just like the coolest
Hello
thing
and welcome back to Robot.
You can be doing right now. And exploring this. Fuck yeah, dude.
It's on his roof.
Fuck yeah, get out of here. Shit, I'm gonna put it at C simply because this is exciting and this is a game I would play right now. Need for Speed, all the names. Second is very popular, but simply because it came out very early. Took the market. Past certain Need for Speed, it was not popular anymore. Carbon Undercover, I think Undercover... Yeah, the moment shift is now Need for Speed is a completely different game. In my point of view, simply because I'm getting too old for this shit. This reminds me, San Francisco reminds me of San Andreas, bro. All the GTA things. And there's GTA 5. There's GTA 4. I played the 4, and it was an experience, sure, but San Andreas, bro, is the biggest experience alongside with my friends, I guess. That's the shit that we were talking at school about, like, really gave a fuck. I really completed the whole thing and just explored even more. No cheat codes needed. People were impressed by that I didn't use cheat codes. Yeah, I just went in there, hardcore mode. But there was just a lot of weird shit to do, and the ending was kind of weird. The final boss just kind of killed the vibes a little bit. When you're kind of killing your own homie at this point. I mean, I'm very bad at spreading this around. I'm just saying, like, Dirt 3 didn't felt quite right. San Andreas should be next to Oblivion. It's a big-ass investment. What is actually above San Andreas? And what felt very fun to play? Saints Row 2. Somehow, that shit just hit the spot of what San Andreas should have actually felt like. Unfortunately, this maybe came out later, but it tried to break so many rules that it just worked. Alright, Saints Row 3 sucked, everyone knows that, but Saints Row 2, that was very satisfying. Let's watch some gameplay. Still an absolute masterpiece, thank you. Bro, fucking telling the whole story?
In this method is
let's go.
What is increasing difficulty?
Yeah, there's a lot of activities, I'm not gonna lie. It's just such a wacky game that I probably would appreciate it a lot more if it was treated as San Andreas. Let me check the dates. 2008. San Andreas date. Game. 4 years before Saints Row. I actually downloaded Saints on my old computer that I just upgraded. So I got it to play the 4th version. It wasn't too impressive, but it's playable. You know, spent some time in there.
I love Saints Row 2 activities. In the beginning, you'll be playing these activities in respect for the missions, but in the end, you just end up playing them for fun. Gaming history. You have Fuzz, a game show where you dress up as a police officer and stop people from resisting arrest. You have Demo Derby, where you get to customize your vehicle and fight against others, something GTA Online would shamelessly copy 10 years later. Very despicable. You have Insurance Fraud, where you ragdoll yourself into oncoming traffic for money.
Insurance fraud. Yeah, Saints Row definitely deserves a spot right in there. It is a decision to make if we want to pull something down or pull something up. Skyrim into the A rank, if anything. I praised it way too much. I played so many hours of it. It's such an ethereal experience. However, I don't think I can actually pull it up there. As a game, like, I wouldn't necessarily recommend or want to replay it at all anymore. I fucking drained that shit so hard. And the only thing that can pull it up is, obviously, Oblivion Skyrim, the next installment of the game. So, that would get an A, hopefully. Like, overall, I spent a ridiculous amount of time in Skyrim. I even have it on my channel. The moment I started playing, I started fucking pumping videos. Just for the lulz. But the moment I bumped into the issue of balance, and I want things to be, like, extremely balanced, otherwise it's not even interesting. The legendary difficulty helped make the game more difficult and more interesting to explore, but like so deadly that progression is almost impossible. You can only just explore the entirety of the map and just be done with it. And it's still very dangerous and difficult to do. I have to talk about Unreal Tournament, because that's a cool thing. Pretty sure is that C rank. It's not that crazy. Yes, there's only 2 ranks. I don't know what to do. Like, if I play the game as it's in that curve, like, it's not gonna be, like, the best game ever. Otherwise, I would still be talking about it. I mean, we can say Hearthstone. We can say Hearthstone is the best game ever just because it's burning my brains. I'm a part of that community. There's no escape You know, and everything in A rank would be Marvel Snap and just other card games. Yes, Legends. He's better than Skyrim in that regards, because I appreciate it more. As a card game enthusiast, this is what I fill up the S and A rank. Is just like there's no escape. It's my passion. Alright? But there is one game. It's not like the others. That squeezed itself in that category of just like things I appreciate ridiculously much. And it's Puzzle Quest. That is an amazing game. Does not hold up, unfortunately, in today's standards because they released a third version, which was horrible. It was a mobile app that nobody asked to be mobile appified, but it got to that point, and it's absolute trash now. Even the Puzzle Quest 2 was worse than Puzzle Quest, the original, and it's really annoying. I made a meme about this. Rewind 2022 actually reminds me of something else as well. Borderlands. Borderlands is amazing. It is as good as Unreal Tournament can get, pretty much. Yeah, I still probably have to like put old games in the D rank just because it's old. It has nostalgic value, but like it's old technology that some of it might not even work on Windows 10, some bullshit like that. Borderlands has a very simple issue, like you level up to certain points and then it stops. All the progress stops as if you have been playing secretly a multiplayer game where it's easy progression to some extent. And then I'm just confused, like, what do I... It's not even a multiplayer game, because, like, what do I do? Like, do I have to grind enemies? Like, what? Where do I find missions to complete? Like, all of a sudden the game just stops functioning, and it confuses the shit out of me. What confuses me even more is that as if everyone is having a different Borderlands experience than I am. Like, what? As if they have the capacity to complete the game, which didn't seem possible to me. I made a meme addressing the Puzzle Quest getting worse and worse. So I'm like, well, Puzzle Quest 0 is going to be a good game. Can't wait for that one. It's very inspiring to wait for some kind of puzzle game that's also an RPG and just explore a map, beat a bunch of fucking goblins. I would love that experience to actually exist, and it's somehow still rare to this day. I'm not sure, because I'm not playing too many games. I'm not testing too many games. I'm just hoping that someone is going to do it for me now. I'm just not sure what kind of like a gaming sites I should follow. I have a specific preference and all that. Like, there's some kind of influencers I have to follow to be able to find just slick little games, not fucking AAA bullshit. There's just like shooters and all this crap that I don't want to play, like especially multiplayer based. Not fuck that. So I'm not sure. I will scout YouTube for sure to find a game reviewer, because like I followed Angry Joe. And then I stopped following him because I can't keep up with all this crap that he's playing. That I'm just not interested. If there is someone that plays cool games and can just like... Avoiding AAA titles is a good idea, because they're just big-ass files, expensive performance-wise. Like, something more simple would be nice. So if I can find a person like that who deals with that shit, I think it's hard to find one, but like, I need one. if I want to make progress on this. So what is Angry Joe up to at this point? Because I honestly don't care. He just kind of diluted his channel into crap, which is not acceptable. You can make a second channel, Angry Joe. Have you tried? It is so much straightforward to just split your channels. It's a scary thing, Angry Joe, I understand. But it's a lot more scarier for me now to just click on his channel. And I don't even know where is a review? Like, even typing a review is not going to give you reviews. No gaming. I don't care. Fucking G Fuel right in there. Test drive. Well, come on. Give me test drive. Where is it? Here it is. There's so many of them. No wonder, because Unlimited felt like a fucking polished ass game. You have no idea. I would love to play another test drive.
Clear the pimples.
It felt so good driving every single car. Like, everything was so polished.
Going into a tight corner.
I don't know what he's talking about, to be honest, the reviewer. I just like the vibes, like these kind of tropical vibes. Just a very polished look, very slick looking game. It's just so beautiful. The UI system, this on here, like where you're earning money for doing tricks. Just the game is so beautiful. I absolutely appreciate. So test drive. Unlimited. We gotta put it at B. Right? Right? I mean, it's tough. Because not really a staple in the games that I played and just completed. It's just more like a generic game in that sense. Because probably has no replayability value whatsoever. There is a downside. Diablo 2. I'm gonna say this with a straight face. It's not good. It is not good. It might have been a time-spending game to some extent. I'm actually putting it at E. I think just Diablo franchise was overhyped. And people don't understand what the actual beautiful game is until Torchlight came out. Fucking Torchlight, bruh. Way better than Diablo in every aspect. But mostly graphics and just smoothness of doing things. Graphics is just like what Diablo lacked so hard, and then Torchlight delivered like this cartoonish style, like enemies exploding. The first version Torchlight might have been even better than the second one, I'm not sure. But it just introduced or reintroduced mechanics that just felt a lot more polished than what Diablo gave us. I never even completed Diablo. It felt like a terrible game. Torchlight I also never completed. Because at some point it gets annoying. I'm definitely not putting Torchlight any higher than that either. It's not like a great game whatsoever. But the anomaly is that Diablo actually sucks. It was a wonderful experience to finally understand what RPG is, that you can just like equip a weapon, but because you just kill a zombie and get a bunch of random shit, it just felt like it's not an appropriate style of RPG. You're just mowing down enemies and you're not thinking about the only thing you can do is just like build your character. And I think character building is a lot more interesting in Torchlight. It's just more iconic character building. In Diablo, you're just like playing a necromancer. running around with skeletons. Or just throwing fireballs with mage. It's very generic. Necromancer is the only one that stands out. But Necromancer is every class in Torchlight, it feels like. And you can definitely pivot the way you play. It is an interesting comparison. I'm not going to trash too much. Someone else can do it for me. Here it is. We can watch that.
Put your skill points into, and your stat points are basically the same. Identifying.
I love it. I love the polished feeling of a game. Diablo 2 just did not give me that feeling. It's like a very dark and ominous game where the enemies, most importantly, the enemies just change color. And that was the most fucking heartbreaking thing to look at. You know, like, it really matters who you are attacking. And if just a bunch of imps change from, like, red to yellow to black, I mean, I'm sorry, bro, but that's not interesting, and I am replaying the game over and over again and just fighting the same fucking garbage enemies that just feels more like brain damage than actual design. Obviously, Diablo 2 is very old, but never have been resurrected. It turned into Diablo Immortal, and Diablo Immortal is acceptably bad. You know, still keeping Diablo 2 in this area, pretty much. Even more harder. Diablo Immortal made it even worse for Diablo franchise. While everything else, I mean, I can't wait to play Torchlight 3 if that shit exists at some point. Let's go, baby.
A scroll you can make up.
I'm actually anticipating this, and Diablo, I have no anticipations whatsoever. It should be an F at this point. You know, total failure. But, you know, there's some good memories.
A portal to go back to 10 unique items.
Yeah, very simple, color-coded.
So, it's, you know, similar.
Also, you have to, like, very carefully look at all the stats.
To
You're carefully crafting your character, like it's a lot of interesting decisions you're making. But most important, just like, this is it, right? The main combat, if it's polished, if it feels good to just cast spells and do like melee combat without feeling that you're being fucking obliterated because you're not sending your fucking troops, your little skeletons to fight for you. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Diablo 2 don't got shit on this scale. Like this wolf charge effect. You didn't see it.
But I'm like I said, guys, I mean, I'm not like a super, you know, hardcore Torchlight 2 guy. I don't know.
Bam. Look at that. That shit I used over and over again.
I don't know every single little aspect of this game.
That is pretty, bro.
Like I do in
So yeah, Diablo just never gave me anything as good as this.
Diablo 2. There's also
I played with every class and it was actually enjoyable. But Diablo just felt super slow. And there was no interesting attacks or interactions. And the map felt like awful in comparison. Nah, this is just fucking slick. So anyway, enough about that. Let's keep digging. There's another game. King's Bounty. It's a fucking Russian game. And it definitely sucked in a lot of my life until it just kind of became a tiresome experience. But deserves a C. Alright? It's technically a very much dying game. It's never gonna come back from the state that it is right now. But in comparison, Heroes of Might and Magic, I mean, that is just a failed name, by the way. Playing Heroes? Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna put it at D just to not piss anyone off, including myself. But no higher than that can I actually go. People say Heroes 3 was a masterpiece while I played Heroes 4. Because I don't want to fucking play a 2D game. I want to experience like a real decent graphics, you know, like a real skeleton, a real Grim Reaper fucking mowing down enemies. It felt like super cool to look at. Every single character, like, yeah, it was a fascinating game. But King's Bounty made it into a fucking RPG. That shit sunk me in. Of just slowly developing your character, picking up skills. Again, just a very rigorous experience of just building your army as best as you can. Mastering every single advantage that you can. Because all that shit stacks. If your minions don't die, you technically have more resources. You can still buy to a certain limit. You have your spell book, you have a little bit of mana. I think you can attack. You can use this every single turn. Your army attacks every single turn. There's bigger enemies than the others. Like it depends on how many troops you have in every single square, just like in Heroes. However, this is not a square grid, it's a hexagonal grid. How different is that? There's so many cool things every single character can do. And there's 2 levels of them as well. Technically granting additional abilities or upgraded abilities. You have castles where you recruit these minions. You have all kinds of places to explore and a lot of collectible shit. This where you upgrade your character, of course. But the game just kind of never picked up development speed, where there's the new generation of this game. So it kind of sucks that it just kind of died on impact. And it feels wrong playing it, because I grinded that shit till the very end on a very high difficulty too. It gets pretty satisfying. I mean, the balance of the game is just amazing. They took the Heroes Might and Magic and made it an actually wonderful game. Well, Heroes Might and Magic is known to be just a kind of event thing where there's a bunch of castles you have to take over, and the game is over when you do that. The story of it is interesting, but you don't actually get to build your character that much, right? Maybe throughout like a storyline, you're building knowledge more, not even a character. I don't know, man. I already forgot, bro, how lame that was. What is the downside of King's Bounty? I don't know. It ends. Eventually gets boring, right? Eventually it becomes repetitive. Because you're doing the same shit over and over. You're just fighting a bunch of mobs, right? And the world opens up to such an extent where you're just desperately looking for things that you can actually defeat. It becomes more of a maze, more of a chore, and slows down from the middle point of the game significantly. I mean, obviously, something like Minecraft is the best thing ever. And I cannot deny it an S rank. Simply because I was so deeply involved in the community. It was my previous community until I just transitioned into Hearthstone. Minecraft is where I have the biggest video I've ever made by putting a lot of effort into some map, into some alternative rule set of how you can play the game. Played Hunger Games, even found some friends temporarily. But yeah, the biggest thing is to just build things, to use it as an engine. There is something in between Skyrim and Oblivion, and it's called Fallout. Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. And some people would actually be able to argue that Fallout 3, in some regards, is better than Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas is better than Fallout 3 in some ways. And I like that comparison. It's just such different games, different experiences. Fallout New Vegas is too linear. I hate that. I hate the linear action of Fallout New Vegas. I think I would side with Fallout 3. I chose Fallout 3 to be the game that I want to replay not long time ago. While waiting for Fallout 4, I believe that's what I was doing. I think it goes here. It might actually be an S rank game. I think it's one of those special cases. I mean, A ranked. It's better than Skyrim. Funny enough. Fallout as a franchise, especially. But Fallout 3 is the one that, like, gives the most vibes of, like, weird shit of, like, you're not even dealing with a fantasy world, a fluffy fantasy world. You're dealing with, like, a straight-up survival situation. And the entirety of the map felt like it's all connected. So, like, cityscapes, you exploring that, you're buying and selling crap. Every coin in that sense matters, while in Skyrim, money does not matter as much. So I think Fallout is actually more polished than Skyrim and Oblivion. And most importantly, it's kind of... it has nicer balance, I think. And maybe even a very, very nice progression system, because just leveling up by doing things in Skyrim isn't always the best way. Even though it's interesting to level up, it's not exactly the best way to upgrade your character. It's just one of those grindy experiences where you can do anything. You can brew potions and get levels up. And the worst part about leveling up in Skyrim, as well as in Fallout as well, but in Skyrim it's a lot worse. In Fallout you're going to get attacked by a bear as well, that randomly spawns if you level up too fast. But you can't quite do it in Fallout because, again, you don't level up by doing things. You level up by just killing enemies and picking up loot and shit. Like, it's a very specific way of doing it. In Skyrim, if you brew too many potions and pick too many flowers, you get too high of a level. Now you have to deal with high-level bandits. And you're fucked. That's it. That's game over for you now. Bears start attacking you from left and right. All the spawn points that used to be wolves now are bears. You're just fucked, basically. You're just running around trying to escape an assault. Now, obviously, if you allow yourself to jump on rocks, you can escape any encounter, whatever that might be. But Skyrim was fucking brutal with punishing you for leveling up. While Fallout just was a genuinely good experience. I had no problems with it. That was interesting. It had cool storyline as well. Skyrim had nothing, bro. It's just garbage. In comparison, if you think about it. Well, okay, so Fallout actually made it to A. I think this is where the story ends. I have a thing, personal thing, Dungeon Siege. But not a particular Dungeon Siege. It's Legends of Hyperborea. It's a special modded version of Dungeon Siege that made its way into my life. Kind of corrupted my life a little bit, but it was nice. Alright, it was just a nice experience that I appreciate more than Torchlight. I've made a video about this, so you can watch that. Dungeon Siege, my friends. So let me meditate and think, what games did I miss? Far Cry. Alright, Far Cry, let's go. Let's put it in the Skyrim category. Eventually just not that deep of an experience. Just very polished, very cool game. But it's not that deep of an experience of exploring things. There's not much to do in actuality. But cool. Absolutely cool game. I didn't play garbage like Pokemon. I realize mobile games just don't count very much. Fighting games were never interesting to me. I'm not gonna put GTA 5 on the map because I don't care. We're not putting Sims unless they want to be here. It's complete waste of time. Red Faction. Red Faction is a pretty cool game. Oh, that one slaps. I want it in maybe Borderlands category, unfortunately. Just because it has a wonderful concept, but I've played it so much that now I have bad memories instead of good. What Red Faction is a very cool game where you destroy things. This is a specific version, Armageddon. It's a little crap. Feels like crap. Because you're stuck underground for some reason. I try to win this game without dying on hardest difficulty, and holy Jesus, is that fucking insane. You constantly get blown up. You even get blown up by your own projectiles or whatever. There's so many weapons, like everything so polished, so cool. There's no way I can put it down here. It's Saints Row level for sure. It's one of those must-play experiences, I'll tell you that much. When I first had I had a shitty computer, it was loading for so long. It was one of the reasons to upgrade the computer at that point. I really wanted to fully experience this game. Even though I just got a snippet here and there. Like, fuck, I need a new computer now. To render all these physics and shit. Every car feels cool. All the enemies feel cool. Just like polished beyond wildest dreams. And a completely, like, absolutely amazing game. There's nothing bad I can say about it. Besides that, you know, it ends. Has a bunch of cool mini games. I mean, it almost deserves an A ranking just to give a middle finger to all the other games. The problem is that the franchise is too small for that. Everything else has a, like, either is a card game, or it's a huge franchise. Even Puzzle Quest still seems huge to me. The fact that developers still care about this game. But Red Faction feels abandoned. And just that alone drags the game down significantly, right? If Skyrim was updated constantly, and developers found the best mods to turn into vanilla experience, fuck yeah, dude. Skyrim could be the best game. Anything could be the best game in that sense. But if you don't develop things, they get left behind. Red Faction getting B? Pretty good, though. I hate it. Put it here. I don't actually want it to be here. It's like it's the most perfect game I've played in recent times. You don't understand because like the environment is destructive. You can go through walls to be able to attack enemies. You can strategize, have an assortment of weapons, an assortment of vehicles. You are collecting these like materials to buy better things. There's so much to do. You collecting scraps, completing like fucking legit, well-designed missions. The AI of the enemies is like pretty good, pretty satisfying. And just watching destruction unfold in general, I mean, I don't know if a game like this exists, bro. Maybe at some point, like, you're equipping such monstrosities, doing such weird things, that it becomes kind of like a blurry gameplay. Of, like, developers have added so much variety into this game, you're eventually fighting aliens. It just kind of gets weird, but it's absolutely adorable. Holy crap. Like, the expansiveness of the world, of, like, how you have to approach every single problem. Nah, we gotta fucking stay. Fuck you, Fallout. There's, another guy. Another guy I am an ex with. Yeah, if there's any recommendation I can actually make, that's the game. It's a fucking shooter, boy. Like, there's no more perfect game than this. It's insane. You're also on Mars. You travel on Mars, and we still haven't reached it, but this is a good simulator. I'll tell you that much. Simulator of just the futuristic towns and a fresh way of just building things. The landscapes are so fascinating to me. There's even a little bit of racing you can do across this whole landscape where you're trying to find shortcuts and fast ways to demolish buildings too. Is this S tier, bro? Just unbelievable experience. Could it be? Probably not. But I would keep my eyes on this thing. If this ever comes back from the dead, fucking let's go. So it's just pretty to look at. Maybe not the landscape, but overall, super cool. Anyways, if this wasn't reserved for like giant games, of course. But we made it to A, and that's good enough. Terraria. I don't have nice things to say about Terraria, unfortunately. Eventually it felt like a flop. After all this effort you put into the game and just like beat up a bunch of enemies, it still feels like a flop just because, you know, maybe it's two-dimensional, maybe there's no real progression system of Terraria. I will put it next to Torchlight. It's better than something, you know. That would be as bad as Diablo. And somehow, like, Starbound felt like a good version of Terraria, like a respectable one. Not this blocky, pixelated mess. But I'm not sure. I'm bunching Terraria and Starbound together when it comes to that. Borderlands grossed 28 million, San Andreas similar. I'm going down the hill to pick up anything I left off. That's super popular. No, nothing. Checking most popular games. Just 20. Best games of all time. Maybe I'll find something cool. BioShock? Come on. Yeah. Red Faction, definitely underrated game. Skyrim is 27th. Portal 2 is almost a game that I don't want to evaluate because there's not... It doesn't feel like gameplay to me. It doesn't feel like an actual game. More like some kind of storytelling experience. I'm gonna put Portal 2 here because, like, what? Am I supposed to have enjoyed it? It's like, there's not much gameplay. You just shoot a fucking portal here and there and pass through it in different ways. I'm sorry, and you have to follow a specific pattern, too. No, thanks. I'm not accepting that as a good entry at all. Minecraft is 104. Ooh, Paper Mario. Again, with these like tiny games, I don't consider them as gaming experiences anymore. Which is kind of mind-blowing to me that the games have to be this big to make a difference. Even Witcher 3 didn't felt big enough for me. It didn't draw me in. You just like run around killing things, but like, where's the gameplay again? Now I'll give it a honorable D rank for Witcher 3. That's it. No, this is just bad memories, like especially chatting with all these weirdos. No, I don't like it. Half of the fucking game is just chatter. Disgusting. And a bunch of writing. No, we don't do that. It's even worse than I thought. So we're not even gonna watch gameplay. Otherwise, I might have to bump it down. Tony Hawk. Alright, that's a cool one. Yeah. Is it San Andreas? Sidekick? Definitely not. Just below. Yeah, it's the hard truck sidekick. Like, it's a cool little skater game. You complete it. That's it. That's where your journey ends. Yeah, you just learn a few tricks. It's just like learning a tiny skill. To play with a fucking skateboard across a lot of landscapes. You can even make your own skate park, which was actually pretty cool. But you can tell just doing that one thing, making tricks, is not exactly a lot of gameplay. The game can vary from being very slow when it has like quests and shit to very just straightforward when you're just trying to score as much as possible. What the fuck is this? There's a lot of versions. There's like 3 at least. And all of them played it very differently, actually. Oh yeah, I think Underground is where you have a bunch of maps. Oh, and you can do so many fucking weird shit. Oh, okay. I liked it. It's kind of wacky, you know? What the fuck is this map? I don't think I've seen something like this. It feels like this skateboarding thing is just like such an expansive game. I have to put it here. Like, there's so much. So at least I sunk in such a weird amount of time. Maybe not even realizing. There's like 3 games. And they're just like so expensive. There's one that I don't remember, but like it was such a fucking weird experience. I think it had a storyline and everything. How about we just watch all the Tony Hawk games and I decide what's going on? Yeah, this is a very basic one. This is a very cool one for sure. We go on different maps. Yeah, Tony Hawk was a good experience, actually. This is it. This is the first Tony Hawk game with a fucking storyline. Or is it not? I think it is. It's very different from the first Underground. There's no time limit here. I think this one also has a storyline, and this one's fucking deep. Where you can make your own skater at this point. Yeah, this was cool. This one had the editing of your own skate park. Oh, yeah, that was fucking badass. It's definitely tempting to put Tony Hawk very high. Just because I played every single game, and every single game has something to offer. What the fuck is this? This looks so good. Tony Hawk Ride. Wow, I would want to play that. Alright, so I will keep it there. I don't think it's that deep. Super Meat Boy. I'm indifferent. Maybe I need to talk about Biting of Isaac, but that game does not impress me. This is like purely subjective. This whole list of things. You can tell me your subjective opinion about things. It might change my opinion too. But it's just like how life went for me and how much I enjoyed these things. How impactful they were to my life. And the smaller the game, it's going to make a less impactful amount of influence and memories. What do you mean? Pinball? Marvel Pinball. This is a good bonus meme to end with. What is Marvel Pinball? This is again. What is this?
Watch out!
And why?
Reminded me of a cool game. Sonic Adventure. But I hate it. It was ruined. The memory of Sonic Adventure, just like, because I try to play it again, or think about it even. It's such an old game. The one I played, Sonic Adventure 2, it was better almost in most aspects. We're just like, there's nothing in between. There's no the ugly stuff like chows to worry about. You just go from level to level, and it's wonderful. Sonic, the original Sonic Adventure, it was just such a weird childhood game, where I just got stuck playing it. But because it was a lot of wacky things, I'm just putting it here. It's like Robot Wars level, right? Yes, a pinball reminded me of Sonic. That's one of those games that you were able to play in Sonic Adventure. Tetris Effect. What the fuck? Give me a good Tetris game. I'll be so grateful. This is insane. Now I'm just hyped about just simple puzzle games. It looks more like musical thing, right? Or is it just simple Tetris? Because that would be disgusting. Who needs simple Tetris, though? No. Why would you even rate it high? Like, there's nothing innovative about it. Whatever. Alright, give me a good bonus meme. Something that's, like, really cool. What? Red Faction? What about the gorilla? 3 points lower. Fucking hell. Oh, look, Hearthstone.
Major plot point.
Arx Fatalis. That's a deep cut, bro. And genuinely, everything about this game is so well made. The way you slowly progress and just like every item that you can find and interact with. It's a very funny version of Elder Scrolls. I don't think I completed the game. It's very twisted and complicated. You kind of have to follow walkthroughs and shit to be able to understand what's going on. I just would be so interested to see how I would handle the game in the state I am right now. It just feels like a very mature game they have to carefully handle and read between the lines. Arx Fatalis, bro. We can't put him next to Skyrim because it's such a tiny game. It's more of an Oblivion vibes, but like very cool. It's hard to even tell who are developers. What is this? Why was it made? You're just like stuck in an underground world, teleporting around, collecting things. Everything's just super nice. Except for the puzzles. The puzzles kind of suck. And the mystery of just like where to go next. The spell casting is the most iconic shit ever. You draw a spell on the screen. A couple of lines, maybe throw a fireball. I don't remember the variety of spells that you can cast.
Another aspect of
what are you fighting, bro?
Standing in.
Like I haven't even been in this part of the game. If you don't know what you're doing, like you're gonna very slowly progress. And I still needed to look at all the walkthroughs very carefully. So because of that, I can't rate this thing as high as Skyrim, bro.
In a corner, waiting.
But it's just nothing but good memories
for
about
your
this
health
thing.
and mana to recover between engagements.
The most biggest factor of being a good memory is that I want it right now. I want to experience something right now. And Arx Fatalis was always just placed in a position where, like, maybe if I play it again, I could have even a better experience of this game.
Taking part in this plot is cool. Forging the ultimate weapon as well is kind of a small puzzle, requiring you to follow
Yeah, everything is a puzzle in this game.
instructions on how to introduce in this.
See that? The runes. You cast runes in a specific order, and then you get a spell. I remember you can levitate, apparently can't enchant. There's a whole book of spells.
The problem is that this feature is introduced way too late in the game, and at this point, it's practically useless.
Okay. Yeah, balancing problems is always...
battle in the game, and can feel almost impossible.
Really?
With how much damage some of Akbar's spells do, and how to
That sounds like a torture if it's such a difficult final boss.
help the people of Arx.
Who is that? What is going on
return
anymore?
back home. You've become too powerful.
She gets weird, bro.
And it does feel nice to see a goblin head fly off into the distance. The magic system, on the other hand, I absolutely love. And on one hand, I wish it had been used in more games, not to die.
Yeah, that's the cool part. That's the spells getting nerfed because it's very difficult to actually use this shit in combat. But you can store 3 spells as a quick cast.
World where you can pick up all.
It's such a vibe, this game, bro. Every single enemy is a vibe. It's not just like an enemy with a health bar. It's more of a experience that you can't just cast your spells until enemy dies. It even showed the bow and like arrows, and I haven't even fully experienced this game. This is why it's so exciting. There's so many approaches to this. I love it so much. I wanted to put at C tier. I almost have to. Because it's such a more serious vibe than like any of these games. And it's in track with these ones.
Technically, you could even just kill everyone you find, break into every single play. Arx Fatalis feels like a second playthrough kinda game, where the first time is painful, and on subsequent
Fucking painful. You slowly realize you're playing it wrong.
playthroughs, you know better what kinds of character management.
Imagine, like, I withheld not putting this next to Skyrim. Simply because it's such a low quality game, it seems, right? But because, like, every item feels like it's so cool to have and use. And the way everything is done, like, it is just incredibly impressive experience.
And there's so much stuff to loot in the game, and once more, during your initial playthrough, it's difficult to assess which things can be useful and which are going to be completely useless for you. The difficulty of the game ramps up a bit too fast in my opinion, and once the illsits come into play, the game turns from a somewhat challenging game to a very difficult game, very sudden for players unaware
Bro is obliterating the
of
player.
this difficulty jump.
It's crazy.
In my opinion, more balancing and wish there had been more.
Nah, still needs more polish. It's a little bit too nitty-gritty overall. Like, it seems slow in that sense. The way you loot bodies, the way you manage inventory. And eventually everything feels useless and kind of weird.
Dialogue screens.
Yeah, I mean, the best perspective is like, how much can you improve this game? And there's a long way to go. It would be very different in this level, like very polished level. Like with enough tutorials, with enough options, we could go up there. There might even be like a lack of enemies overall. And you can just like get lost in some kind of areas. Or just do enough mistakes where, as if it's sad, you know. You will get stuck until second playthrough. Cool. Love that game. The reason why it's almost as good as Skyrim is because like everything is like clustered into this underground dungeon experience. So you don't have to travel far away and encounter mediocre experiences. It's very potent, but the puzzles slowed everything down to the point where it does feel like you have to travel by solving the puzzles and finding the keys and talking to the right people in the right order, so nah. Yeah, go figure. Even in Follow, you don't get to drive a vehicle. You can drive a vehicle on Mars. I don't got nothing else, to be honest, to fill the list up. I can technically double check Steam, but I doubt it. Yeah, Puzzle Quest is badass, absolutely. Gems of War makes it like super insane. Almost S tier. This is the one. The best version of Puzzle Quest is Gems of War. It just proves that it can be so good. Honey Pop. Probably gonna be our bonus meme. Rage was kind of interesting. But I already got rid of that experience. Two Worlds. It's one of these Fs. And I don't want to talk about Fs. Shit, Mount and Blade. Definitely not 8 tier or anything. I think it's one of the more unpolished experiences. So I'm gonna put it here. It's unique, but like kind of wasted my time. If you could just select what kind of battles you want to perform and just gain experience from doing random encounters with random troops. Yeah, I can see that. The best part was just arena mode, or just being attacked by a bunch of crap, and it felt like still like such an unpolished, a weird looking game. I'm not a fan. Well, it's worth putting 2 worlds. Especially 2 worlds 2 and 3. Just like it existed. I played a lot through it. Because it's one of those slick RPG experiences that you want to complete. I think I've done on both. It's not impossible. So the final bonus meme, Honey Pop. A Puzzle Quest reference, by the way. Literally, we talked about like most of the games. We can mention Gemcraft. Gemcraft is a honorable mention. I would say it would go somewhere around here. Next to Terraria. Kind of makes sense. Gemcraft gives you very cool balance of the more enemies you take on, the more experience you get. You can actually choose. Now, you have to control it in a very intricate way, making it a very difficult defense game. It's one of those balloon defense games where a bunch of crawling enemies attack your crystal or whatever, and you have to defend yourself with gems, crafting towers and shit.
Yeah, there's a shit.
Best tower defense game from my childhood, he says, and it's absolutely true. You can sink in so many hours into this because it's very well polished eventually.
Too many of them. There's more.
Very well balanced. You unlock more of the map. Again, the harder you make your enemies, the more experience you get. And the experience is the maximum experience you get from all the areas combined. So you have to make things more difficult for yourself to get more experience. Just squeeze the area for its juice. And that aspect was the most inspiring mechanic of all time. And the fact that every single level is its own like deep adventure of trying to make maximum use. However, I mean, it's very straightforward gameplay. There's not a lot of variety going on. Just things shooting at enemies. And yeah, you can make them stronger and combine them, the gems together to find best combinations. And that's a little bit of strategy. That's not something to laugh at. It's pretty cool. And it actually introduced like these like enhancement towers. Like very cool shit. Someone subscribed just now. You should do that too, obviously. Markiplier played Honey Pop. I mean, probably the most respectable game he ever played. Even though it's very sexy. There's 2 versions of this, and the newer version is actually pretty slick. And you have to learn how to play it. That's the fun part. How to actually take advantage of this whole charade. The first game is more like sensual. When it just feels like you're unlocking a girl for yourself. Like you're truly dating girls at the same time playing puzzle game. I mean, fuck yeah. And very erotic pictures get sent to you via email, I think. Virtual, right? Mastering this game was pretty interesting to me. Also, you can pick up any piece of any tile basically and drag it across the entire fields, allowing you for incredible amount of moves, different ways you can move things around and set things up as well, because you're not just moving this, you're also moving everything down that you choose. It's or you grab this instead of grabbing this and putting it here. You grab this and put it somewhere where it's most convenient. There's this whole slider of options. And mastering this game is all about buying toys. Buying toys that gives you superpowers. I'm not sure what this gameplay is supposed to show. In this case, every girl has their own gifts that she gave them that are toys that give you those special abilities, and you have to mix and match the best combinations. And remember a lot of traits that these girls have. It's very complicated shit. So I got stuck on the second one. The first one was pretty straightforward experience. The second one, I got stuck at some point. I came back and I just fucking destroyed it. Beaten the game. I didn't even know why I was stuck at that point. But the difficulty is just like perfect. The idea behind it, I think, again, it got worse on the second game. The whole storyline, just double dating, it's kind of weird. Because you're not double dating, it's dating two girls at once. Double date, I'm pretty sure it's when you, as a couple, go on with a friend couple together. This is just threesome, yeah. Fucking weird. Yeah! Then they fucking moan in the end. It's funny. Genuinely, it's a funny game. And it should just be just below Puzzle Quest, although questionable. What is better, leveling up your character or hanging out with women? Oh man, I don't know. Honey Pop. I don't know. I want it to be at A tier, and that's it. It's the end of that. Like, if there's a sequel to Honey Pop, I'm all in. Give me more. I'm gonna play that shit. Like, actually. Maybe even on my card game channel. No one's gonna stop me. See you guys next time. Bonus beam. Success. Oh, yeah.